Hey, how's it going? So, got another video. This one is, it's probably easier to show, but this is the second special move I put together. This is, how do I say it? Like, so, in some games, you have, like, moves where, like, if you press a button a certain amount of times, you'll do, like, a little quick, you'll do, like, a special attack where it's usually multi-hitting or something like that, usually keeps you in place. This one I thought was going to be the easiest to do, but it actually turned out to be the hardest. So I'll just do it real quick. Slams his foot down, makes a little spear in front of him, yells, has a little glowy eyes. It's cool. I need to put the trail on it to like signify that it's special, but yeah, I might as well need to adjust where the sphere shows up on the left side. But yeah, like that's it. Like right now I'm spamming attack. So how this works is back in my special controller. I added two two different variables, spam window and a spam counter. So when I press X, the window right here counts down from I think it's point 0.4. This is done with a common action. Every time I press X, it does a quick common action and goes back to ready. And then a single press will give me 1 to the counter. When I get 4 and I press the button again, so technically, I need to get 5 presses. It'll spawn. It'll do this. It'll do pretty much execute the special move that Remy has to do this. So all this is in a common action on a separate controller. That just pressing this goes here. So the reason I did that was so that way I could continue to do other moves and such out of while Remy is jumping around and doing stuff. Because if it was the constantly doing this check on Remy, then I wouldn't actually be able to do anything. Just like how I have the charging and then, nope, two, there you go. Yep. So I know I'm kind of terrible at this, but right now it's easier if I just do like, yeah. So it's kind of easier if you just hold the button and then press the direction you want to go, just because the timing is so strict. But yeah, I'm not gonna adjust it. I like the way I think it's fine, but it's very you have to deliberately know what you're doing. And so yeah, like this, just spamming slams us down. And I did not. So there's one more thing I want to check. So I had it to where you could cancel out of things. So I want to go to shield and I want to let's put this back at the max of say 64. And I don't think it's going to show up, so no, I don't think it's working. So it should have been able to I could cancel out of doing this special move with another special, but I don't think it actually working. Yeah, well, let's just go back. Let's just go over how this works again. So essentially, it's here waiting. I press X, goes to starting spam. This is the common action starting spam. Starts to count like the timer to count down, and then it adds 1 to my spam counter. And then To make sure that I don't keep resetting the timer, I have another one, another common action that takes priority over this one. So if you were to look at here, the processing order is 0, then it goes to 1, then it goes to 2. So for the next step. So here, if I go back to here, so here, if my timer's already going and I press X, it's going to just add 1. Then when my timer is still going and right here, my timer is, X is pressed, my timer is still going, is not, or my spam counter is greater than 4, and my timer does not equal 0, so it's still going, then it's going to execute, it's going to go execute this action right here. So it's going to start the chain. And by it's going to start here. Here, this tree gets a little complicated, but like just the simple here, it's going to check, it's going to go over here. It's going to check to see if the player's on the ground because I don't want to be able to do move in the air. Every single one of these is going to check if on the ground, and if it's on the ground, it's going to do the move, and it's going to reset my spam counter to 0, and then go back to ready for input. And here I had the cancels, but I had a whole cancel system, but isn't clearly it's not really working. And then here is what like I wanted to make sure that if I was in the air, like players on the ground is off because I have it to where any move that I do that Remy does where he that involves him being airborne, it turns on a switch to where he's not on the ground. Just for my controllers because they can't determine if they're on the ground or not when it's a child object, so I just made the switch. And then all of these are just the actions that I wanted to make sure it Remy could not do or could not perform if these actions were going. So like one is if he's parrying, it's not going to do it. And then other moves. But and here I wanted the cancel system, but I'll maybe explain that in a different video if I actually get it working. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Simple-ish, but for some reason it was giving me a lot of trouble. I can't even remember what the issues I like what issues I was having when I was trying to get it to work. I think it was mostly just this, and initially I had to split up some of these actions because it just wasn't working. Because I tried to have a common action to go to each one of these, and I was like, it's not working. It's overly complicated. So I just call to one check, and then it goes from there once everything's done here. I could probably make this one common action that have another check system over here, but I like how it is. Oh, also super important. Here, say the player doesn't actually execute this and they just press the button a few times and don't do the move. So here is got another check for if the spam window is 0, so the timer's counting down, it's not, and it's back at 0, and my counter has like it's up. It's like say if my counter was at like 3 or something like that. As long as the counter is not equal to 0 and 0.25 seconds has passed. So like that's enough time to like okay, you're not pressing any buttons. 0.25 seconds has passed. It's gonna reset the spam counter to 0. And then go back to waiting for the player to do something. But that's pretty much it. I'm probably missing a few things and glossed over some stuff, but that's it. All right. I don't know when I'm gonna do another video because day job's calling tomorrow, so um, have a good one. See ya.